Hey, welcome everybody. We are back with Meet Me in the Middle, and we have a special guest today, Mrs. Laveta Lampkin. Um, she is an aneurysm survivor, and man, what a testimony she has for us today. We continue to try to get different people to come on and um, give their testimony because we know that it's very inspiring for those of you that are listening and those of you that are followers of Meet Me in the Middle, to be inspired by the different testimonies and the stories of people that are either going through their middle or they're in the middle or they're stuck in the middle, or they've gotten that victory. So we just want you to sit back, enjoy our discussion and her testimony this morning. Actually, it's afternoon, but I'm just going to
wherever
say
you are, wherever you are,
it's morning. So, of course, we have Joy Martin with us, and Joy and I are like peas and carrots. So, so we enjoy doing this. Laveta, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for taking time out. Tell us about yourself.
Well, guys, I always like to talk. So
that's what we're hoping for.
That's what the
makes for
blessing
a
is.
good interview.
Well, I will tell you guys that I am from Chicago, Illinois. I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. That is actually my home. Had such a great time being there. I kind of go back and forth there quite often, and I try to stay about 2 weeks, just so I can be able to go and have me some great popcorn, some great food and stuff like that. And believe it or not, my husband's from Chicago as well. So we're both from the same city and state. And we actually have a good time when we actually do go home. So that right there is a blessing for me. So
yeah.
So went to school there, did so many things before I even moved down south. And so I actually been down south since 1995. Even though I've been coming back and forth here in the 80s and stuff like that, having a great time coming down at Oakwood. It has just been a blessing. Yeah.
So I gotta stop you right there because
okay.
Because I gotta add a little something to this. This is what we do. We dig into places. We have our questions written out and then we dig in somewhere else. No, I'm very curious for you because I was born in the South and moved to New England, the New England states, Massachusetts and Connecticut. And we were there for about 20 years. My husband's a pastored there, whatever.
So we're all pastors' wives.
Right. Yeah, we're all pastors' wives and preachers' kids. I know Lindsay and I are. Are you a preacher's kid too?
No.
Okay, well, that's all right.
But my mom, you would think she was, because she was really into the Bible. So so yes, I'm a pastor's kid.
There you go. So
my mom.
I'm wondering what was it like, the transition from Chicago to Alabama? I just want to hear just a minute about that too. Was that good? Was that hard?
Well, it was very difficult, but it wasn't that I moved from Chicago to Alabama. I actually moved from Chicago to Lexington, Kentucky. So I was there for like 2.5 years. Then from Lexington, Kentucky, I moved to Nashville, Tennessee. I was there. My husband was in the conference office for like 10 years. He was there for a long time. I had such a great time there. I mean, for me, the whole staff, everybody was very, 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 very nice. I had such a great time. And then after that, when his time was up, we moved to Knoxville, Tennessee. And we were there, got a chance to go to Gatlinburg and to hang out. And I used to teach for Knox County schools. And, we had such a great time there. And then after that, then we moved to Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay. So it wasn't a stark change from Chicago to Alabama.
It wasn't. And so in actuality, it was difficult for me at first because, you know, you're so used to living the way that you live. And then when you move, you don't have any friends. You don't have, you know, it's like you stuck there by yourself. Because if my husband has to go someplace and I could not go, now I'm at home all by myself. So for
Right.
me, that was a little bit disturbing because I want somebody to talk to. So I was on the phone quite often talking to my
Yeah.
family
Yeah.
because, you know, that's very difficult going somewhere and you have absolutely no one. You don't even know anyone. So that
Yeah.
that was the problem. But
That's a great
nothing
point.
bad.
That's a
Nothing
great point.
bad.
That's a great point that you're bringing up as far as
Mhm.
that part of the transition, because I think a lot of
Yeah.
times we leave that out, and
Exactly.
that we suffer through silently in a sense,
Right.
you know. But
Mhm.
that is a big part of the transition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
that
that's
that was
another middle ground that you've covered
mhm.
because, and I don't want to blow past that because it made you who you are and it
Yeah.
helped you with in other situations where you were in the middle of a rough road. I mean, for me, moving from the South to the North was a huge transition as this little, small town pastor's girl, naive and all that kind of stuff, moved to New England, just,
Mhm.
totally
Mhm.
different culture. I absolutely love, love, love New England and fell in love with that place and the people. But
Right.
then I'd been there so long, then moved to Alabama. And so it was just like moving from one country to another to me. It was just,
Mhm.
and Lindsay, I know, has moved from California to Alabama. And so I think it's important for people to know, yeah, like Lindsay said, suffering in silence there sometime, like
Mhm.
you move to a place where everybody's friendly, but yet you still gotta those deep friends. It takes a minute, right? So what
Mhm.
helped you in that middle? See, I'm kind of digging into that. What helped
Well,
you get
actually,
through?
what helped me when I moved to Lexington, Kentucky, is
Mhm.
that, you know, I've always been a crocheter. And
Ah,
so I used to crochet scarves and hats and gloves and just all kinds of things just to kind of, you know, try to overcome my boredness all by myself. And
yeah.
then I started looking for a job, you know,
Okay.
and then believe it or not, even though I had graduated from school in Chicago, well, I should say South Holland, Illinois, because I went to South Suburban, and then I went to UK, and I actually graduated from UK as well,
Ah,
and
okay.
so that's what put me there. It's like you just have
Uh,
to do something because if you don't do anything, then you're just so bored
yeah.
and and you want to leave because you know
Hmm.
I'm so used to being with my family and stuff like that. So that is something that you learn to do. You learn to do a whole bunch of you know, things just to kind of overcome being so bored, you know. And
Well,
so
you're a resilient person, I can tell from that. And you don't just sit there and wallow in it. You work
right.
on it. So
Mhm.
okay, now we can get back to the next one. Lindsay, do the what else would
What I wanted to ask you was, okay, so you were saying that you had graduated. What is your profession?
Well, my profession is that I'm a teacher. I'm an English
okay.
teacher.
Okay.
And believe it or not, I've been an English teacher for years. And I love English a lot. Even though, believe it or not, even though I was an English teacher, I still taught kindergarten. I
Wow.
still taught I want to say first grade first grade, yeah, first grade. And I never liked teaching fifth grade just because, you know, they started to go through their process and everything like that. And then after that, I was just still in high school teaching English. So I love being a teacher. You know, at one point they tried to get me to be a nurse, and I was going to school to be a nurse. And I sat there and I prayed. I said, Lord, something's wrong. This is what I said. I said, I am not a nurse. I am a teacher. Why are they trying to put me as a nurse? Even though I have my science degree,
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
still never said, okay, I'm a nurse. No, I am such a teacher. To my
Mhm.
heart, I'm a teacher. And I love teaching English. That is like a blessing for me to be able to bring the students from one process to the next, you
Love
know.
it.
So
Love it.
yeah.
Love it. So tell us about your family, your marital status, your children, give us a little glimpse of the family structure.
Well, everybody knows my husband is Pastor Alexander Lampkin. He's actually one of the pastors at First Seventh-day Adventist Church. And believe it or not, we have 3 children and they're all boys. And
Oh,
I'm the only girl in the house. And
Great. That's great.
they love my food. They like for me to
course.
cook. And so even when I'm at work, they call me and say, Mom, what are we gonna have for dinner today? And for me, that's like actually a joy because that made me feel that my family love me, you know, and cares about me and then they want something. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. And then my husband and I, we've been married for 32 years. This is our 32nd year. In August, it'll be 32 years. And so we've been married all that time. We've had so much fun together. We've gone so many places. I think I've been to almost every state except for 4. And have had such a great time with it. Don't mean that you didn't have some stress moments with, you know, different things that are going on, but over the whole process, we've had a lot of fun together. And so
Yeah.
we actually really love each other because 32 years is a long time to be with the same person.
It is. It is. And you can tell that you guys are friends. You know what I'm saying? You not only love each other, but you're friends.
Yeah, we're friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we want to get moving into your testimony. I love the fact that you guys have been married for 32 years and you're a pastor's wife, and all of us share a lot of commonalities. When I found out that she was a crocheter, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. So we've been trying to hook up on the
We've
side.
been trying to hook up.
To get together and go to some crochet spots and just kind of hang out a little bit. But life is hindering that just a bit. What we wanted to further delve into you being an aneurysm survivor, that's huge, and you don't look like what you've been through. Tell us about how that kind of came about and happened. I know we were talking earlier and you were saying that you know, people will ask questions that, you know, did you have health issues or was there something going on that triggered it? Tell us in your words, you know, what that experience was like.
Yeah.
Well, it's really interesting because I usually, when people ask me a question about that, I usually say, I think that you should get checked from your head to your toes. And the reason why I say that is because you never know what's actually truly happening with you. Like if you knew you had a brain tumor or something like that, you would go blind or something like that. That would show you, okay, you're having this issue because of this reason. But for me, I never knew that I was having an aneurysm. I never knew at all because because I was teaching at Oakwood Academy, if I can say that. And so I was teaching there and so we were having a banquet for the seniors. And so I was helping with getting I didn't cook the food, but I was helping with serving and making sure they got the drinks. And it was all of the teachers. We were all in there helping. And then I started taking bunches of pictures. I got so many pictures of this whole thing. That whole night I was just taking all the pictures. And I didn't drink anything, I didn't eat anything, none of that. And then my boys, they showed up. And I said, well, you guys go ahead and have some fun. And I'm just going to just go over here and take some more pictures. And so when the night was over, I went home and I went to sleep. And I said to my husband, I said, I'm going to bed. I'm so tired. I'm going to sleep, And so I went to sleep. And then the very next day I woke up, I got dressed and everything. And then I was laying across the bed. I was like laying across the bed and my husband was making all these jokes. And then I said, you should stop that. I said, you're so funny. I said, you're so funny. And then next thing I know, I said, oh, honey, something's wrong. Something's wrong. And my face is frowned up like that because I'm going, something is wrong with me. And then next thing you know, I just passed out. And so once I passed out, I guess my husband's coming to me, shaking me, trying to figure out what's going on. He's going like, honey, what's wrong? And so I never heard him call me. And then he called his mom in because she was over and my 3 boys, and they were all shaking me. And I never heard any of them. It wasn't until the ambulance actually got to my house and they screamed my name out so loud that I actually opened my eyes up a little bit like this. And I was like, what are you doing here? I'm just sleeping. This is what I said. They said, no, ma'am, something's wrong with you. And I still never thought something was wrong with me. I'm just thinking, I'm just sleeping here. So they're saying to me, what hospital would you like to go to? But after I thought about it, actually, I said, why would they ask me that? Why wouldn't they ask my husband what hospital to take me to? But my husband said he think it was the process of keeping me talking so I wouldn't pass out or whatever. And so I said the Madison Hospital. So they took me to the Madison Hospital. My oldest son, his name is Brenton. He actually rode in the ambulance with me so my husband can have a car to get back and forth if he needed to get back and forth. So when we got to Madison Hospital, they checked me all over and they told my husband, they said, your wife's brain is bleeding and that she has an aneurysm that burst in her head and we need to get her to Huntsville Hospital because we can't take care of her over here. So when they got me over there, they was trying to make a decision on what to do. So they wanted to go through my leg and actually put a stent up to my head, but the blood was coming out too much. And the best thing is, and that's what I'm thanking God about, is that the aneurysm didn't go like pow. It didn't do like that. It bust, but it didn't go so hard where I could have just died. You understand? So that for me, I almost want to cry about it now that I'm thinking about it because
it's okay.
I'm saying because that is a moment that you know for a fact that God took care of you because when it just happened and he got me to the hospital and then they said, well, we can't go through her legs. We have to open her brain up. And so I actually have a scar on my head that kind of goes from here all the way over and goes all the way down to my ear. And so they're saying, well, we have to go in, we have to fix this. And so I actually have a chip in my head. I don't know. I've never told anybody that. I just actually just kind of, but since I've been talking about it, it actually has helped me out a whole lot because before I wasn't saying a word. If I was having a moment, I just stayed home and had my moment. But I have a chip in my head. They fixed all of that. They closed it back up. My hair actually grew back. My hair was so long when I woke up because I was in the hospital for 1 whole month, 30 days, 31 days. I was there the whole time.
Wow.
But when I opened my eyes up, guys, I said, what am I doing here? I'm looking around like, what am I doing here? And then I said, man, I'm saying this in my head. I said, man, I must be really sick in order to be in the hospital because I never knew what was wrong. I never touched my head. I never touched anything. I just was looking around saying, God, I must be really sick to be in this hospital. And so my husband, he was there and he would come from some place where he went to go get water or something like that. And then I said to him, I said, honey, what's wrong with me? And I'm looking like, what's wrong with me? And then he says, oh, you had an aneurysm. And I said, oh, what? Even though I know what he's saying, I said, then I said in my head, I said, I didn't have that. I did not have an aneurysm. I'm not going to even claim it. This is what I said. I said, I'm not going to even claim it because
no, I didn't.
I thought that if I claimed it, then it really happened, So I was like, I'm not going to even claim it. And so he said, yeah, you had an aneurysm. He said it again. He said it to me probably like 5 or 6 times till I said, oh, okay. And then I still didn't feel like I had a problem. So, so they had my legs like wrapped up in these big ball things to like massage your legs and everything.
Yeah.
And so I said, oh, Lord. Okay, my husband's gone home now. He's left the hospital because he says, I'll be back. He's going to go check on his mom because she's there and she was very sick too. She actually had cancer. And so he had to check on me and check on her and all this kind of stuff. And so I said, I have to use the bathroom. I hope I can say that. I have to use the bathroom. So I said, oh, let me get up to go to the bathroom. Now the bathroom, here's my bed. My bed is just right here. And the bathroom is just right there. The toilet is just right there. And so I started trying to get up. And I got up out the bed and the bed started going, whoop. And I said, oh my God, what's wrong with me? And so I still sat on the toilet anyway. And then the nurse comes in and she says, what are you doing? I said, I'm using the bathroom like that, you know.
Like in slow
Now
motion,
look,
like, do you not see what I'm doing?
I know. So now you guys know if I had urinated in the back in the bed, they would have said, "Oh man, something's really wrong with her. We got to really deal with her."
Yeah.
If I had done that, so she screams at me. I mean, literally, like, "What are you doing? You're supposed to ring this," but I don't know that because I'm just waking up, so I don't know. I just know I got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I
hang on. Keep telling that part, but then after
okay.
the bathroom part, I want to ask you a question.
Okay. So then I said to her, I said, okay, I said, but the other thing is what I would like to do is wash my hands.
Mm.
So I'm saying I want to wash my hands afterwards. So she gave me the little things, wipe my hand. I got back in the bed and then I said, okay, I'll lay here. And so then you know how you just fall asleep. And so I fell asleep and I woke back up. I got to go to the bathroom again. So in my head, I never thought she told me to ring this. I thought I got to go to the bathroom. Let me get to the bathroom. And it's just sitting right there.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I politely slid my legs out the bed again. And I sat there and the bed went, whoop. I said,
it
oh, good
alarmed.
Lord,
It alarmed.
here she comes. She's going to scream at me. You know? And so she says, don't get up. So she's actually screaming, like, don't you dare get up, you know. And I say, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, help me, Jesus. Something's, you know, just help me. And so I laid back down and then I said, the doctor came to see me. And I said to him, I said, I'm not being a bother or anything like that. I said, but you see that lady that's right there. And he says, yes. I said, I don't want her as my nurse.
Oh.
And I said, I don't mean that sarcastically. I said, I don't want her because she's screaming at me when she should have said to me, Mrs. Lampkin, you had an aneurysm, and gave me the instructions.
Right.
But instead,
Right.
she didn't give me the instructions because if she had given me the instructions, I would have really truly followed the instructions. I think, and maybe I may not have having my head cut open, but I felt like she should have just explained to me the situation.
Right.
And I
Right.
would have said, okay, let me have this close to me so I can ring it. But it's way back here. I got to reach back there to get it. And I can't reach back there to get it, but I got to go to the bathroom. And I said, now, if I use it, they're going to say I'm crazy. They're going to say, I said, because I have to go to the restroom, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he actually took her off from being my nurse. Now, I told him to tell her that it's nothing personal toward her. I said, because I love everybody. It's nothing personal. I just want somebody to explain to me the process on what I'm supposed to do and not to do.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, because I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and then we're going to take a break and talk about a lot more of that month, especially and following. But how old were you when this happened? That's what I want to know.
This, believe it or not, this is my 6th year. So it was 6 years ago. And do you guys really want to know my age?
Well,
I don't mind. I don't
because,
mind.
okay.
I will be 58 on March the 18th. I'm
Okay.
57 right now. I'll be 58. Then, so this was this when it comes President's Day, that makes my 6th year because it happened on President's Day.
So it
6 years ago.
happens 6 years ago. Okay, so you were 51?
I was 52.
I'm not good at math, sister. Okay, so well, the reason I ask is because I think that's important for people like that maybe
I may have been
listening.
51. I may have been turning 50 because you know what? I may have been turning 52 now that I'm thinking about it because I did go home for my birthday.
Okay,
and it was a month later. Yeah.
Because, you know, for anybody else that's had this happen, I mean, we're talking about, hey, it can happen at any age. I mean, I went to college with a girl, and we were at the time, maybe, I don't know, we probably were just 19, you know, and she had an aneurysm and unfortunately she passed away. I mean, it happened like that and she was gone. There was no, you know, so I think it's important to know different, it makes no difference what age. Excuse me. But okay, so there's so much more I want to ask. How about we take a break and we come back into the next session and we'll tell more about the details of that month and beyond. Sound good?
That sounds good.
All right.